What's up, everybody? Welcome back. Welcome to the shed. Before I get too deep into this video, I want to thank Drew Witt for making me that cool 20,000 subscriber sign. He did that himself, a little woodworking channel. Check out the link in the description below. He's doing some fun stuff on his channel, and I think you'll enjoy it. So thank you, Drew. I really appreciate it. That's awfully kind of you. So obviously, as you know, I've been going through a major overhaul on my landscape, and I have a lot of considerations when putting in this new design. Now that we're in July and we're in one of the worst droughts the West has seen in I don't know how long. I'm not a weatherman. I'm not really anything related to weather except a person who participates in it. Doesn't matter. I am really having an internal struggle, and I'm gonna reach out to you guys to maybe you can help me with this decision. Over the last little while with this drought going on, I've made some changes into how much turf area I'm actually going to put in. I've sort of shrunk it down from what originally was going to be around 6,000, maybe 7,000 square feet. I think I'm getting down closer to about 4,000, and a lot of that just has to do with really paying attention to the environment in which I live and not want to be wasteful with water. When I had my grass before, it was small, 1,500 square feet. It was actually very easily managed with just using a hand sprinkler and moving it around, and I could keep that thing looking really good, watering very sporadically. I had no sprinkler system, so I was really on it. This area is going to be quite a bit different. It's in multiple tiers. It's got different exposure. There's just things that make it a little more complex. It's definitely getting a sprinkler system, and I'll talk you through the way that's gonna look right now. As far as it sits at the moment, I'm probably gonna have 2 stations for drip, and each one of those is going to run along various sections of the rock wall, kind of moving around the whole property. Pretty easy to do. I'll put beds in there, I'll put planting materials, all that kind of stuff. Up on the upper tier, I was going to have turf originally, but now I don't think that's gonna be the case. That's gonna end up being sort of a more larger bedding area, spread with bark mulch, some flowers, kind of keep that area around the swing set with sand and kind of keep it low maintenance. The next thing that I'll be building up there is actually a deck. You'll see a video coming on that soon that's over in the back corner. That initially was just going to be a sort of stone-based pergola, but I kind of wanted to elevate it a little bit, so that's another modification that's been made. As we come down around the back of the shed, that area is super flat, right? So that whole area is getting turf. It's gonna be beautiful. And what I had thought I was going to do was put in a whole Netafim drip system through there. And I have called and talked to countless people now, and they're all discouraging me from doing that. And I'm having a hard time letting it go. So that's the first thing. What do you guys think? Have you had experience with doing drip in turf? I have in some areas of Nevada, but it's always very small. It's small 150, 250 square feet areas of turf. So it's nothing like as big as what that's going to be. Now, this isn't really a vast area, but that section is going to be somewhere between 1,000 and 1,500 square feet, so it's a little maybe bigger than most. So if anybody has any opinion or experience with that, I would love to hear it. Just jump right in, leave some comments on that. So moving on along the side and coming down the hill, most of this is going to be turf. There will be turf around the trampoline and then small bedding areas as well, so there's some drip in there, and then there'll be some rotor heads that kind of move through that area. That's going to add about another, say, 1,500 feet, maybe a little more than that in that zone once it's all done and finished off. So the final area, which is going to have 2 dedicated zones, is the golf green, and that is the area that we're kind of doing last right now. It's still taking shape. You can see how it's sort of starting. This big pile of topsoil here, that's not going to stay. That's actually going to be moved around. I just needed it right there, and we have more than we need. But it'll help do the subgrade before I bring in the sand compost mix to do final grading. And that. Here's where it gets a little bit tricky, and this is why I'm putting this out to you all. I have 3 options for growing grass. I can sod it, which is pretty simple, and honestly, given the drought, that's probably gonna be the best thing if I wanna do it soon. I can seed it, but I'm gonna have to wait a while before I do that because it's going to be hot. Right now we're having a little break in that really excessive heat that was happening, but it's still very, very dry, and I just don't necessarily want to have a mud hill back there for a while. So that one, if I seed it, I'm gonna have to wait. The third option is hydroseeding. I don't like that one very much. So if y'all have an opinion on that, 1, 2, or 3, knowing this. If I go with sod, I can do it sooner. If I go with seed, I'm probably gonna need to wait until September. And if I go with hydroseed, I'm probably not gonna like what it looks like. However, I can manipulate what is going down and use some of the materials like the green pop and others in that hydro seeding mix and put it out. So that could be kind of cool. So if any of you have an opinion of that, go ahead and jump right in. Now let's jump down to the golf green. I'd called a number of golf suppliers hoping to get some bent grass reserved and actually grown turf so I can put it down and basically have it be ready play, and that would have been really nice. Pretty much everybody sold out until the end of next year. So apparently golf has made a comeback. That's fine. So now instead I am going to have to do a grow in. And again, I'm facing that same dilemma of growing in the midsummer in a drought. Seems sketchy. It's not that I'm not up for the challenge, and I was actually thinking of doing some samples on that and letting it sit out in the sun and watering it. The one thing I know that I can do if I choose to do that is set up enough of a shade cloth system to kind of keep it cooler. The water, growing seed on sand is going to be moving pretty quickly, so it's just a consideration. And again, I just want your opinion. So obviously by this point, you know who you are out there that I'm addressing this to. There's a lot of you that are just very consistent viewers who comment all the time, who we communicate with on a regular basis. I'd like your opinion. And I think it could be really helpful. So if you're willing to do that, have a hand in the design of all of this, I think that would be great. You can see how everything's taking shape. I've got bedding areas that need to go in. I'm going to be putting in my sprinkler system in the next week or 10 days. And there's still a lot to consider. So help me out. Give me some of your thoughts, give me some of your opinions, and let's go through them and chat about it. And maybe we're gonna end up having some sort of vote on this. I don't really know, but I'm willing to try different things, and I think I could just use a little help.